Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Today is Wednesday, December the 30th, and I can't wait, and I'm sure my partner can't wait for 2020 to end because it hasn't been a very good year, not from a handicapping standpoint, but from just a worldwide global standpoint with all this junk going on this year, Chipper. Again, as always, I'm joined by Chip Chirimbes out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Uh, Excellent handicapper extraordinaire. Chipper, how you doing today?
Hey, not bad at all. We had a big winner in the bowl game last night, and I hate to see these games dwindling down. I mean, I wish they could stretch it out till July, and then we start August 1st again. But it is what it is, and we've lost a lot of the games because of the virus. A lot of sides that we actually wanted, and the games were never played. And like you said, it's a level playing field for everybody. We have to do what we have to do. But actually, I think it brings us into the light more because we have more valuable information than other people do. And I think we're doing much more work. We're very diligent in what we're doing, and we're aware of what's going on out there. So we can help them as far as clearing up the cloudiness of what's going on.
Yeah, and it's you're really challenged to provide the most accurate information possible because of I mean, for example, you mentioned on our last show that the whole situation in that Memphis and Brooklyn game, was it? Or if I recall, where Brooklyn scratched Kevin Durant and
Right.
Kyrie Irving about an hour before game time. Folks, that's something we can't control. Anyway, go ahead, Chip.
And they lost, and they knew that they were putting this Dinwiddie on the reserve list, or he was going on the shelf for a good period of time, and they were coming out without three mainstays, and it's not fair to the public. And of course, Vegas and the odds makers don't like this either because they don't want to get caught in a trap. But I can't figure out why, Ross, when these guys want to take a day off, why don't they take a day off when they have practice, when there's no game scheduled? I mean, people.
Yeah, I mean, you would think
People used to pay to come and watch them, but they're supposed to be professionals. I don't want to hear you're tired. That's what makes you a professional. You're out and you play that day.
Yes.
So I don't like this whole idea of them sitting. I mean, Popovich does it all the time, and they're sitting all these players, and the line becomes skewed and goes from a 3.5-point dog to a 4.5-point favorite. It's tough to stay with, and we're on it all the time. I mean, we know within minutes.
There's only so much you can control as far as the work that we do. I mean, let's face it, people, if you waited to an hour before game time, short of having a phone service, people are going to be badgering you when you're going to put your picks up.
Yeah.
So we're caught between a rock and a hard place. But you know what? We all are. We're all on the same level playing field.
We used to have a late phone service. I mean, we would, like you said, release an hour before the game, maybe 2 hours before the game. But with the internet handing us the way we are, the shelf time to sell a game, we have to get up as early as possible. We're doing the best we can. I do most of my work at night, the night before. And then in the morning, you reevaluate and you send it out. And, but we're having a great year handicapping wise. I mean, it hasn't hurt that part of it, but the time and effort and, decisions we have to make are much tougher now.
Yeah. And, like my wife said yesterday, one of them, it was a really good compliment she gave me. She goes, if it was that easy, Ross, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she knows the time and effort that I put in. And, again, Chipper, it's hard to find a woman that has your back, when you're in this.
I'm just looking for one,
Anyway, we're going to give out a free pick in college basketball and the NBA today. So before we get to those free picks, Chip, tell the folks where they could find you and what you've got going on and how you've been doing of late.
Thank you, Russ. People can reach me and get my games at chipwins.com. And I've had a great college football season. College basketball is off to a great start, and I'm one of the leaders in the NBA as well. It just happens to be falling into place right now. On this site, every day you'll get my single strongest play of the day, which is a megabuck in each sport. And usually I have a trio of games, except on a Saturday in college football, I may have 5, or college basketball, I might have 5 for the day because there's such a big schedule. But you can log on, buy a 3-pack, and get the best bet included, or buy the best bet individually. It's called the Megabuck Winner. I thank you very much, Ross. We're rolling along with this play. It's theaplay.com or chipwins.com. And looking forward to closing out the season with a big rush.
Very good, Chipper. And folks, you be well advised to follow his advice and mine. You could find my picks at rbwins.com. Over the last 3 betting days, I'm 10-5, 3-2 last night, including a 10-star top play winner, which was my highest rated play. And that came in the college football bowl game between Colorado and Texas. I had the over 64. Final score 55-23. Like we said on yesterday's show, we have the side and the total. Chip had Texas last night. I had the over, 2 easy winners. So again, folks, still plenty of time left in the bowl season here. Some big games coming up. Tomorrow will be our college football playoff show. You don't want to miss that. And again, that's chipwins.com or rbwins.com. Let's get to some free plays. Let's start in college basketball, Chipper. What do you got?
All right, I have a very unique game. Unusual. I saw it last night. Then this morning I got up early and I evaluated and I raised its status. And it's in the SEC where I have an undefeated Georgia team at home playing against Mississippi State. And the Bulldogs, both Bulldogs, but the Mississippi State Bulldogs aren't all that bad. And yet Georgia is only a 2.5-point favorite at home. This is an undefeated team in a situation where they're just begging you that this team can win by a 3-pointer. I'm going to take Mississippi State here, strictly off the line. I'm not talking about talent. I'm not talking about who's played what, where. I'm just talking about this line looks very suspicious to me when you got an undefeated team at home, less than a 3-point field goal favorite. I'm going to play the underdog here. I'm going to have the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, those two teams are, I think, going to be bottom of the barrel in the SEC this year, along with Vanderbilt possibly.
Right.
But somebody's got to cover, and it certainly makes sense what you're saying. When you see a short favorite like that, and they're undefeated, it doesn't make sense. Speaking of not making sense, I got the Davidson and Richmond game. The game will be played at Davidson. This line opened up with Davidson being a favorite. They're now a 1-point home underdog, and I'm not sure why. So, but let me just say this: Davidson's 5-3 this year, but 2 of their losses came to nationally ranked Texas by 2. They also lost to a pretty good Providence team by 1. They're a very good rebounding team. They're a very good defensive team. Of course, Richmond was in the top 25 for a couple weeks to start the year. I guess you can make a case that they've played a tougher schedule, but having said that, I just think this is a very good spot for the home pick 'em or underdog, whatever you get it at. And also, I mentioned Davidson, a very good defensive team. Richmond, defensively, so far, they're allowing opponents to shoot 49.7% from the field. I'm going with Davidson here as my college basketball free pick. That's Davidson +1 over Richmond on Wednesday, December the 30th. Also, Chipper, you want to tell the folks what you had again for today in college basketball?
I've got Mississippi State in the college, and I've got it's part of my 3-pack. That's how much I respect this game, and I'm giving you one of the free pay plays that I have out there right now.
Very generous of you. What do you got in the NBA?
In the NBA, it's kind of exciting what's going on out there. I mean, we have the LA Clippers 4 days ago that lost by 51 points, only scored 27 points in the first half. They were outscored 77-27. That's absolutely unbelievable for a team of that level and that quality. But like true professionals, Ross, they came back next time out without Kawhi Leonard, who sat out that game as well because he's got still 8 stitches in his mouth that haven't been removed yet. He's questionable, most likely won't play tonight. But like true professionals, this team came back and they just manhandled Minnesota last time out. They won by 23 points. I think it was 124-101. They bombed 3-pointers from all over. And now I'm expecting them to have a little lull because they're playing a team that loves to beat NBA clubs from Los Angeles. I'm talking about Portland. Portland, who just jettisoned the Lakers, who they always have a great series against. The Lakers seem to struggle against Portland. I don't know why, except for the playoffs last year, but it just seems like Portland has their number, and they do fairly well against the Clippers. And I think that this is a short number here. With Carmelo Anthony returning for the Trailblazers, how can I pass them? I'm going to take Portland tonight. and I hope Carmelo sees very little playing time.
That's Portland plus 3.5 over the Lakers. He also has
Excuse me,
Mississippi
over the
State
Clippers.
over the Clippers. Excuse me.
Right.
The Lakers are playing tonight, so
Yes.
it's Portland plus 3.5 over the Clippers, and that game tips off at 10 o'clock Eastern time. He also has Mississippi State plus the short number at Georgia. In the NBA, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at a total here, Atlanta and Brooklyn, and the total in this game right now is 239, which is extremely high. But like you said yesterday, when totals are this high in the NBA, it's for a reason. And you look inside the numbers here and you go, man, Brooklyn has gone under the total in all 4 of their games this year. Yet look where this total is. They're only allowing 104 points per game. Yet look where this total is. Well, Atlanta, they're averaging 124 per game right now to start the year, and they've been awfully impressive offensively, especially. Like I said to you off air, defense is an afterthought for the Hawks. They just want to go up and down, up and down. And it's almost like a knockout puncher who likes to trade blows and knowing he's going to sacrifice getting hit so he could land that one big shot. And that's how Atlanta plays thus far anyway, Chipper. This total, again, it looks like they're begging you to take the under here based on what I just said. But with Brooklyn, I should say. And I'm going to go over. I'm going to go Atlanta and Brooklyn over the total of 239 for my free play in the NBA on Wednesday, December 30th. Repeating again, in the NBA, Atlanta, Brooklyn over 239 from Ross Benjamin. The Portland Trailblazers plus 3.5 over the Clippers from Chip Chirimbes. In college basketball, Mississippi State plus the 2.5, I believe it is.
That's what it was. I mean, it probably rise before the day's over.
At Georgia, that's from Chipper. And then for myself, Davidson plus the 1 over Richmond as my free play. So there you have it, folks. 4 free plays, 2 in the NBA, 2 in college basketball. Don't forget, join us tomorrow as we'll be back with our college football playoff show where we'll be looking at both playoff games between Notre Dame, Alabama, and Ohio State and Clemson. Chipper, any final thoughts before we sign off?
Well, just you're taking that total. I think you got something going for you. You have Trae Young, who has no conscience whatsoever. He throws the ball up from anywhere, and he's been hitting his shots. We know he's a great shooter and scored. He's a great scorer. Like Allen Iverson was a scorer. Didn't necessarily mean he was a great shooter, but this kid is a great scorer.
Yeah, and shooter. So in any event, until tomorrow, for Chip Chirimbes and Ross Benjamin, like to wish each and every one of you a very happy holiday season. Stay safe, good luck, and God bless.